This meeting is being recorded.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Whoa. Better. Look how nice you look.
Spot right
I
there.
don't know what happened. What'd you do?
Good afternoon. It is wiki wiki woo woo wah wee 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 woo woo wee wee wee. That's my new name. Just decided. I'm tired of saying Rose for a minute. You know, sometimes you're just like, today my name is blah, 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 blah. Woo-hoo. Wouldn't that be a great name to have?
Kia ora relations. Hello, Ainsley. Hello, Joanna. Hello, Dwayne. Dwayne's watching from Cancun.
Dwayne. Well, and didn't you talk to Ingrid in Cancun yesterday?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's commitment right there. Good afternoon. My name is Rose. For those of you who don't know me by my other name that I just shared. This is my amazing wife, Marita. And welcome to Ice Cream Sunday! It's like, no! I was just reading from a book that she bought me as a present. That's like bedtime stories for girls that are all these stories about like rebellious women, and it's in Spanish, so I can practice my Spanish because my Spanish it's still in very young phases. And so I was trying to read it, and it was so painfully slow. I was reading like one sentence, and then I'd be like, what does this word mean? What does this word mean? Oh, wait, if you put it all together, I don't understand. She's like, it means this, just something like this. And I'm like, but if I read that word somewhere else and you say it's something like this, how am I ever going to know what it means? Anyway, I've got a ways to go. Anyway, welcome to Ice Cream Sundays. This is every Sunday at 3 p.m. San Francisco time. So, you know, daylight savings, not daylight savings, just set your clock to San Fran. And today we are going to offer you, as we do every week, single card readings, ice cream, chakra clearings, and of course, throughout, we are going to give you relationship advice, advice for life, words to live by. You know what I mean? So my particular specialty is working with LGBTQ women who are looking for their next relationship and for that relationship to be, you know, different than the rest. You know, really, how do you not date your ex again and again and again, right? I'm going to teach a special class about that because that is a question that I get asked a lot.
Thank you, Cindy Hopes, for sharing. We got a lot of people on.
Hi, Cindy. Awesome. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Nicole. Mirta.
I know.
Tonya. Ainsley. Dwayne.
Dwayne, our good friend.
And my amazing wife, Marita. Oh, first of all, my business is definitely a mix of the spiritual and sort of the more academic, traditional, research-based type of work. And you want to tell them a little bit about your shenanigans?
I'm just trying. I'm also like the producer on this, so sometimes if I'm looking down, it's because I'm trying to catch up with everything. Marita is the one who catches lightning with the path of Ish. I got new glasses. I'm not wearing them. I was told I look smart with them. Anyways, thanks for everyone who's joining us. We've been doing this show since last June. Started with just a few followers, and now we're happy to connect with over 1,000 people a week, and we want to connect with even more. This is
blow it up.
Completely free, and we have a lot of fun doing it. So path of Ish, path of spelled I-X, is a path of unconditional love. Knowledge is what brings us together today. So unconditional love, self-love, right? You know, it's funny. I was watching. I've been watching a lot of things today. I watch a lot of things and read a lot of things, and that's another discussion. But watching a lot of offers out there, what people are doing, what they're offering businesses and this and soul healings and restructuring and that, you know, and all that stuff. And it's like, you know, you got to throw your offer into the fire and see who's attracted to it. And a lot of people do that by putting some other offers down there. And I don't believe in that. Look, I'm here to teach you about yourself. That's what I'm here. I've been trained for over 40 years.
You're here to be a fruit.
Exactly. And really connect you to yourself before, to help you remember, before you can do anything, set up your businesses, create better lives, anything like that, you have to remember. And so I've been trained in a lot of alchemy, in Hopi, Lakota, Mayan, alchemy and things like that. And I'm able to take people back through that journey of radical self-love through the shadow self. And really, if someone asked me, what is the other day, Ingrid, I'm doing her school, with, why am I forgetting his name right now? I'll think of his name. Her ministry school, really excited. And she asked me, what are the top 3 things that you love about yourself? And it's something that I'm learning a lot, and that's duality. So if I'm here to do anything
you
in
call
this,
me the Gemini.
I know,
That's
is to live in duality, to live in that balance. It's not about good or bad, it's really about accepting what is and what could be and the consequences. And that way I'm not looking for people to save me or something to save me, but being able to take responsibility myself, for my actions, for my deeds, my words, everything that I create, because we do create this life. And of course we do get help. And that help is from the ancestors. That help is from Mother Nature. As we learn from them, as we learn from the stories, how to undo all our conditioning that we're born with.
It's really going on.
I know.
Maybe I should get
So,
some scissors.
40 years. I am that old. I know. But yes,
She look amazing.
I know. But yeah. So, anyways, that's what I do. Path of Ish. I'll put our Instagram things on here. We also have we just started our YouTube. I finally got together. Yay! So if you're traveling around and miss us, you can watch us during the week. I made those little commercials. I love making commercials. So anyways, a lot of people on here already know how this goes. Yeah, it's totally about balance.
So
Ainsley, we'll get you a card.
So yes, anybody who is interested in getting on our list, we do keep a list. We try to stop right at 4 p.m. So we will take a short list of names of people and let us know if you would like a single card reading, and if so, what topic. A ice cream chakra clearing. And if you're struggling with something specific around that, let us know. And then after you let us know what you want, think about it and make sure you check in and give us permission, which means write permission in the comments. Permission granted. Consent is really important. Interestingly, it's been such an interesting topic as we, are in the United States and having all these conversations about abortion and sexual assault, consent and what it means.
Choice is the one gift given to us. Don't take it away from people. Anyways.
So, let us know if you would like something. We tend to fill up the list pretty early in our ice cream Sundays because
it's like horses out of a race.
Yeah. So if you want to get your name on there, get it on there now. And at the end, we will do a card and clearing for the whole group and really talk about what is the energy of the space that we've created today as a community. So if you don't get a card read or you're just interested in like hanging out and watching, no worries. But we would love to know you're here. So give us a wave, give us a heart, share this video if you're moved to, like Marita said. We really have been very lucky to connect people all over the world by doing this, and that to me is a very, very special gift, particularly when sometimes Facebook is used in a way to connect and sometimes it's not always, you know what I mean? Facebook, YouTube, right? I think it's really amazing when we have the opportunity to connect, and seeing some of you guys come back week after week after week has been such a gift, as we get to know you. So there you go. If you have any questions about our businesses, feel free to put them in the comments. If you need a love life, let me know.
Okay, Mariana, thank you so much. And Mariana, Anyways, so we're gonna start with Jerry B. Boyle. You want a clearing? I think you're giving me permission. Permission granted. Ainsley Burton. Seems you want a card. Just give us permission and direction. Cindy Hope's card. You gave us permission. Thank you. If you want to tell us what it's about, that's great.
Yeah, topic would be awesome.
Rebecca Ray, clearing. Just need permission. Nicole Gale. I'm not sure if you want. No. Thompson. Okay, permission card. Permission.
So today, one of the other things
Cindy
we usually do is we will, at the end of the show, we will try a Rosie Pop flavor. Rosie Pops are all organic, vegan popsicles that we are making that all have an essence of rose in them. And rose is a very high vibration, heart opening oil, water, plant,
permission, good.
medicine.
Permission. Got it.
But today we are also actually, what you'll see me drinking, this is an amazing cacao that my wife is going to start doing ceremonies with. And this particular one actually also has rose essence in it as well. So if you want to later, you can talk a little bit more about cacao and its properties. Yeah. But we can get started if you want.
Awesome.
Let me pull out the...
So we're gonna, yeah. Okay, we're going to start.
Destiny.
Ainsley, thank you for your permission. Reading on sister. Okay. Cindy Hope's card, Love Life. Rebecca Ray, clearing. Nicole Gale. Nicole, are you still on? Not sure. Okay. Here we go. Jerry from Ireland, our good friend from Ireland. So happy that you're back on. I got so funny. Immediately what came to mind was like tutti frutti Toblerone, but like almost pound cake flavor of ice cream. And this is really, what's really coming through is your throat chakra, Jerry, because you got 3 flavors, right? 1, 2, and 3, so for your heart, your throat, third eye. And the throat, I've been really kind of focusing on throat chakra and doing a lot of meditation on that, because the throat, right, is your the path, your bridge between what you think and what you believe. And so the throat is so important. If you ever do meditations with it, the vibration is hum. So just hum, good, and it clears a lot of things out. And what it does is, this is where we connect our duality of who we are, what we think we are, and who we believe we are. So the throat is really important. So we're going to clear that out for you. And pound cake, it's so dense, but it's so fruity at the same time. So this is to ground you in your truth, and really to connect you, because it has nuts and so many things, pound cake, and given it around the holidays. It's about uniting you with your ancestral family, uniting you with your truth of who you are, who you've come from, and knowing that you can create from that. You're not stuck in a mold, right? And what's coming through very strongly is, this is your time to create your own voice, to have your own voice, to stand in your truth, right? And by meditating and clearing on your throat and understanding what you're speaking to yourself and to others is how you're really creating and joining these two. So that's what I got for you, Jerry. And you got?
I got pineapple chunk ice cream. It wasn't just like smooth. It was very specifically pineapple with little like chunks in it, And I actually got this not for a specific chakra, but for the space between your second and your third chakra. And actually the sense that I was getting is that you have some digestive and like some energetic blockage in your digestive system, lower digestive system. So not like the stomach and then higher digestive, but like between the upper and kind of lower digestive. And the interesting thing about that, I think, is, what comes to mind is this practice of eating ancestral food as a part of healing your body. I don't know that pineapple is an ancestral food for you since you're living in Ireland, but there has been amazing research into people eating foods that are the foods that naturally their ancestors would live off of naturally. Ah, hilarious. The foods that our ancestors would live off of naturally, and how that helps our digestive systems and our physical health and everything actually reset and reconnect. There's something, pineapple is very acidic, it can really help your body digest and clean out your digestive system. And I'm getting the sense that you need that right now. And that having that block, I've had somebody tell me this before. Oh, it was mostly between the second, the third, and the fourth. But when you get blocks between your chakras, it means like that the energy in your body is not flowing properly. Which it's like when you get a kink in your nerves, all of a sudden there's pain, and then the signals are not getting there, right? You start to go numb in certain places. Sometimes they're not. They're green. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I got for you. So if you, I would encourage you to, think about your diet. I don't know how you eat, but maybe that's just the message that I'm getting, that might be something for you to look into and explore a little bit in terms of your physical health. And then to really let that clearing of the space between your second and your third chakras to just wash through you, just let it wash out. It's like, tropical fruits often really help clear out your digestive system. They're really healthy for that. I know it's not something that is probably super easy or local into your area, but if there are local equivalents of things that are like that, known to kind of just help you have gut health, that is also going to help that energetic flow in that part of your body. So I'm going to leave it there.
We're not doctors. See a nutritionist.
We're not doctors. We are not doctors. This is just the message that I'm getting for you. So if you definitely don't rely on me for medical advice anyway. Cool.
Okay. Moving on to Ainsley Burton.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you. Nicole, cool, you're driving, so it seems that thumbs up is permission, and I just need to know if you need a card or a clearing, so don't text while you're driving. So maybe when we get to you, it'll be a surprise.
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I don't know.
No, I mean, like,
Sorry, we have to sometimes confirm. Thank you for everyone who's joined us. Again, please share in your pages and your groups and place that you think people would love to connect.
Hi, Zara. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Tracy. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Yeah? You think this?
Yeah. I mean, I like this one too, but I think it's because she's asking for her sister, so one's for her and one's for her sister.
Well, I think this is for her.
Yeah.
So what?
So Ainsley, I know that you asked for a card for your sister, but it seems that the cards want to give you a card as well. So we pulled one for you and one for your sister. Nicole got it, card. Again, if you've come on later and we haven't put you on, we already got about 7 deep. We usually get around through 5 or 6, depending how fast we can move. We do a card and clearing at the end. Please don't just pop off if you haven't got it, because people do, and so we just go through a list, so you never know. Okay, so Ainsley, we have 2. Okay, bye, Simon. Good night.
Bye. Good memory.
Finally. Okay. Ainsley, so this is for you, and we're going to do one for your sister. So this is for you. Look at that. Enter the Garden of Delights. This is for you, Ainsley. And this is about you.
I think, we're going to keep the card for you pretty simple. I'm just going to actually read you the poem. I think you need to hear this poem that is associated with the card. That we're using the Rumi Oracle deck.
Who's a poet?
Rumi is an incredibly famous poet, Sufi poet. So, I'm going to read you this poem, and then we will talk about the card for your sister, okay? And the card is Enter the Garden of Delights. Are you aware that sweetness is found everywhere in town? Are you aware that winter is gone and spring has come around? Are you aware that sweet basil and the carnation are whispering in the garden and laughing about how simply everything is found? Are you aware the nightingale has come back from its flight, singing out messages of love to spread delight with every sound? Everything in the garden is granted the right from the divine court to appear for our delight. Everything is here to make the earth green and alive as a haven for our life. What remains buried in the soil will always endeavor to reach out. No one truly alive can ever be pawned to a prison or a tomb. So let that one sink in.
Okay, and then here's the card for your sister, Sacred Phoenix Heart. So, of course, Phoenix is about rebirth, you know, and going to that place of rebirth. And the heart to be rebirthed sometimes has to be broken, you know, the tilling of the soil, if you look at the heart that way.
The tilling of the soil. Sometimes you sound like a narrator from one of those shows from like the 50s or 60s. I feel like you'd have a really good narrator voice, you know, like
I just did.
You could be the Twilight Zone narrator.
I just did commercials for ESPN.
When?
In New York. I didn't tell you that?
No.
Yeah, I did radio commercials. So if you're in the tri-state New York area, you can listen to Marita and some commercials that I did there. Anyways, fun times. So, okay, here we go.
Were you advertising shamanism?
No, I wish.
Okay.
So again, so sometimes the heart has to be broken, that toil to be still. And I guess, you know, whenever I say that, I remember this dream, a very intense prophetic dream I had a long time ago. And it was about my father. And I saw him struggling in a field, trying to create something. And it came to me in this dream kind of meditation that, you know, the soil that he was tilling wasn't rich enough, and that he had to go deeper, and it was going to have to break some things. My father, after that, had very huge challenges come into his life. He lost his job, very high-paying job. He was out of a job for a couple years, supporting, a large family, and trying to do anything that he could do to not lose his house and things like that. And he went through a really rough time, but I think it also made it more possible for him to have compassion. I was estranged from my father for a while, and then after that, he was softer. He was easier to talk to. He didn't always believe in the work of his hands to create everything. I mean, he was a hard ass, but sometimes the tilling of that soil, is something that needs to happen.
It's interesting. I think when we're looking at this card, I don't know what's going on with your sister, but there is this sense, right? The phoenix, like you said, is about death and rebirth. It's not about just birth. It's about how sometimes we can be given this like really hard no, like, we're trying to do something in the world. We're trying to pursue a path. We might be trying to do something out of a great amount of love. And the universe is just shutting it down here and there and everywhere, right? And at a certain point, we have to let ourselves die away. We have to let whatever our striving is die away. And at that point is when it's actually going to be rebirthed and begin again. And right now, it seems like the message that's coming through this card is that your sister has been struggling and pushing for quite a while towards something, and that the tide is going to turn. And that it's not going to be as much about fighting anymore. It's going to be more about receiving, even though it almost seems like it's not happening. This can't be real. It's unlikely. It's like hard to believe. It's going to come around, and your sister is going to have to be ready to receive whatever it is that she's been pushing so hard towards, right? It's almost like there's this great metaphor where from a book that I like, where it's talking about how there's this beautiful butterfly in the garden, and you're like chasing it around all day with this butterfly net. Like, I gotta get that butterfly. It's so beautiful. But then when you finally give up and you sit down and you remember how beautiful a day it is, and you stop and you kind of give up on the butterfly and you let it go, it comes and it like lands on your hand, right? That's the sense that I get from this message, that something like that is going to be occurring for your sister, in terms of the end of a period of strife. So I don't know if that's helpful. I'd be curious to know what's going on with your sister, if you feel comfortable sharing a little bit. And I think it will give me a sense of what, if there's something specific that message means in a particular context. And if not, you are totally clear, then that's great. We're going to leave it there.
We can also catch you on Kairua. So.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Awesome, good.
I'm really glad that it's reassuring. Okay. Sometimes the universe gives us those messages of reassurance that we need, I'm grateful for that too. When that happens, I'm like, oh God, thank God. Stubbornness.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that could also, I'm going to say this really quickly because this is what's coming through. Sometimes we're stubborn because we've been rejected, or because it's hard to trust people, right? And because we do have a very direct way, I can be stubborn, right? And some of that is because of all of those. So sometimes there's a wound to heal there, right? And trust is a huge wound to heal. And then also communication. So sending her love and light. Okay. Awesome. Jerry, we love you. Thank you so much. And thanks for sharing. Okay, Cindy's next. She wants a love life card.
We'll see you tonight, Ainsley, maybe.
Yeah, Ainsley. There's some great meditations. Ainsley, you should have your sister and you should follow me on Instagram at the Path of Each, so Path of IX. I'm going to start putting out small little meditation songs, and there's one song there just given to me by Spirit, and it's just to clear confusion, right? To clear confusion. I have another one for like planting new seeds of love. I have another, and they're coming out. So I did a couple recordings yesterday, and those are coming out, and I think that's a lot of the path that I'll be taking, is just putting out there some prayer songs and recordings, and that should be fun. Okay.
The thing I like about you, Amazing Life, is that you're like so tapped into like spirit and just this intense like shaman practice and all these, you have so much practice and experience, but you're also kind of like so New York.
Yeah, I know.
You're just like da 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 ba 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 ba, and then you're just like, I'm tuned into spirit right now, and I'm just like, okay, it's like we're not doing like a slow, Southern Oregon walk.
Oh God, no.
Through this like spiritual journey, right?
No.
We're like,
yeah,
we're headed to the west side. Like we're walking fast. We're moving. I like that combination.
Yeah. And I was just in New York, so it's funny. I got back on Friday and we were talking on the phone, and I'm like, I'm just letting you know, I've been in Manhattan for a week, so I'm a little bit even edgier than usual. I was like, get out of my way. I was yelling at people. Anyways. Okay. Cindy Hope's card. Love
I
life.
like that though, because when you were telling me that, like, remember you got in the car and I was getting really sassy and you were like, you need to eat. Like, I don't know what's going on. And I was like, sometimes I just like being sassy. I just like having attitude. I'm not yelling at people so they can hear. I'm just like, come on, bitches, let's go. Instead of like, oh, we'll pass. Sometimes I do that too. All right, cool.
Here we go. Love life card for Cindy Holmes.
I don't know. Which one?
Ándale.
Which one?
Well, let's do that one. Ay. So it was a full moon yesterday, full moon in Scorpio. And Scorpio is one of my clans. I was given amazing gift of scorpion medicine, which
Kind of the cave bear.
Kind of like that, Clan of the Scorpion, Scorpion Corn Maiden, to be able to take things that are poison and make them into medicine. So that is part of my medicine, and I think transmutation. Yes. So Cindy hopes this is a transmutation card for your love life, right? So Venus, Al-Uza, star of Venus. Look at that. I wish we had like dry ice to like make this.
Oh my God, right? That'd be amazing. You could bring down the like reptile fogger.
Yes, Cindy hopes. Blue flower corn moon. Aho, aho. Yes, yes, yes. Love life, love life, love life. Look at this. This is really,
this is interesting. It's actually about this card, and this is representing androgyny, right? Androgynous. So being a very, very clear balance of the masculine and the feminine, really being right in the middle of owning both of those characteristics. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting to think about this in terms of your love life, because there's a couple aspects to this message. First of all, don't deny your feelings. Good, bad, up, down, fabulous, neutral. This card is not about denying feelings or shutting things down or judging yourself and, trying to limit your human experience. It's about having the full range of human experience. But it's also about owning the different parts of yourself in balance, So I think that it's very easy for us to fall into roles in relationships. Sometimes we can walk into a first date with our role already clearly sort of built into like our makeup, right? Built into the way that we show up in a first date. Sometimes we might fall into a role within like 5 minutes of meeting somebody. It's really important right now for your love life that you don't fall into that role.
And we didn't do that on our first date.
Oh God, we had a great first date.
Every moment that I was going to fall into a role or fall into a habit, I paused and I made the decision to change it. And she did the same. And that's why this relationship is the way that it is because every time we had that opportunity to change and it was scary, we did. We did it individually and then after a few hours together. But it was true. So,
yeah, it's really about trusting. It's about trusting yourself and trusting your internal compass, right? So if you want to have an amazing love life, it's exactly what Marita just said. It is definitely an art to get into or to, in the middle of relationship, shift and start shifting expectations if you have fallen into a role. There's so many different tools and ways that you can do that, whether it's at the beginning, the middle, really far into a relationship, but it's possible. And this is the message for you. It is essential for your love life right now that you figure out and you are true to that little voice inside yourself instead of trying to be somebody else, because you're going to end up attracting something that ultimately isn't going to suit you. That's just the reality.
And I'm going to add kind of something to that, Cindy, is play is really important. Play is what keeps our relationship going. And it was really funny. The other day, and I've been in relationships where people have like, oh, let's give you a makeover, right? You'd look lovely and like, whatever. I'm like, and she said to me the other, I'm like, I'm going to put makeup on you. I was like, oh, here we go again. She's like, no, but it's going to be like warrior. It's going to be like awesome. I'm like, I'm into that. Like we can totally do that. Even though I have really long eyelashes and, once I put anything on.
She looks amazing without makeup.
So again, those roles, who are you right now in this relationship, or who are you in this part? And I know in the past you've come asking about this before, but I guess, it's just like who you want to play. If you want to write out who you want to be as a character, do that, when you're putting on your clothes, when you're thinking of like, what character are you? Who are you? And this is the thing. This came to me the other day. I don't know if you've ever done screenwriting. I did screenwriting, or if you've written novels or books like that, but they teach you how to create characters, and you have to create complex characters. But for some reason, we teach people every day to be simple. Don't be complex. You're too complex. You should be simple. You should be normal. And this is the thing. There is no normal. Your normal is defined by your biases, right? So it's really funny that we love films where really complex characters, but when we're living our own life, we're trying to be like this, to be very easy for people. This is not the time to be easy. Be yourself.
I've had female friends of mine. This is a really simple example, but I've had female friends of mine that would be like, oh God, I could never do that like eyeshadow color. Cause I sometimes wear like blues or greens. Like I play with color, I love color. And they'll say, oh, I couldn't do that. They wear really, really neutral colors and they're super subtle. And it's like, who says that you can't do that? Who decided that? Is it because you don't want to? Is it because you have this perception that somebody or something or some group are not going to accept you as you are? And trust me, I am not telling you that it doesn't impact your success or it doesn't impact, when you make these choices, but business is one thing, relationships are another. If you want a relationship that checks certain boxes for you, but that you ultimately feel unsatisfied with, then there are ways that you can get that relationship, right? You want to get that particular type of partner, you can change yourself to get that person. But if you want to have happiness at a level of like being met fully at who you are, you have to show up the best you can as who you are. And of course, that's always going to change. And of course, that is always going to be a journey because it takes practice. It takes practice, right? When we've had so much practice being another way in this world. We're going to leave it there right now.
Yeah, we can talk more and more.
So much.
Thank you.
I love this topic. It's very near and dear to my heart, actually. So if you had a marriage of 33 years and it's in and out, on the rocks, over, maybe not, reconnect to yourself right now and figure out who you are.
Yeah. Don't put yourself in a, what's it called in the flight pattern where they're going around?
Circling.
Yeah. Don't do that for yourself. Fly to your new destination.
There we go.
There you go. Thank you.
I like
that
it.
thing.
Stuck on the roundabout.
So yeah, don't get stuck in the roundabout waiting for someone to make a decision where they're going to get off. Get off. Go where you want to go. If that person decides to follow you, fine. If not, whatever.
Yeah, you can always do a U-turn and get back on the roundabout if you need to. Okay.
Thanks.
Here we go.
Rebecca Ray. Oh,
Rebecca Ray.
Rebecca Ray, are you here? Nicole, so glad that you are safe and not driving anymore. So you're next if we don't hear about Rebecca Ray. Rebecca Ray. Family dynamics, guilt, responsibility, and today's issues. Okay.
We'll just give Rebecca a little more time because you can see I'm still talking on this.
Yeah.
So it's kind of behind today. Further behind than normal.
Rebecca Ray, are you here? Rebecca Ray. Yes, here. Awesome. Cool.
What's her question?
She wants a clearing.
Okay.
I love to do clearings in the morning and at noon. There you go. That's one of my meditations.
This?
Yeah, to have people create that.
Oh yeah. I love snow globes.
Oh yeah.
I love anything with like little glitter inside. So this one's part of your clearing, Rebecca Ray. This is San Diego.
Let's do it. You're getting a special clearing, Rebecca Ray. Little snow globe clearing.
The camera doesn't want to focus on it though. It's like a little magical kingdom in there.
That's why I can't concentrate. The glittering. No. Okay, why don't you start? Go ahead.
So the flavor that I got for you is black raspberry sorbet, actually. yeah, this is just like a really dark, delicious, but it's not creamy, but it has so much flavor to it, right? And this is actually going to be for your throat chakra, interestingly. The value of who we are, what we value as people, how we figure out what our value is and how we determine that, so much is based right now in like capitalism, right? Is there monetary value for this piece of who we are, for this thing that we can do? This black raspberry sorbet is really an encouragement for you to reconnect to a different kind of value in your words, in the way that you offer yourself to the world, in your speaking and your singing, and all of these expressions. There's a big bug. There's this beautiful idea of the liminal woman. It's a Clarissa Pinkola Estes thing. It's connected to a beautiful set of podcasts she did called Mother Night. And I would highly recommend that you explore this aspect of yourself. It's, the parts of yourself that are wild, that are mysterious, that are dark, that are sensual, that may or may not have any value in this modern capitalistic world that we live in, but that are equally of value in who you are. When we speak, are we speaking poetry? Are we taking time to speak poetically? Are we taking time to share words that may not have, okay, I need this story in 5 words or less, get to the effing point already, Are we trying to be efficient? Are we just sharing stories for the pleasure of words and connecting and hearing our voice and singing and telling tales, and what, stories and words offer us in terms of connection, right? This is a chance for you to reconnect to the many different aspects of that. Did you have a flavor that you wanted to talk to her about?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to leave it there then.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if
No, it's fine. Okay. So, first of all, that's hilarious, Jerry. And secondly, Rebecca, when I was trying to connect to your energy, it was kind of really all over the place. And so what I connected to was your distractions. And more importantly, what I'm going to do for you right now is I'm going to protect you. So she cleared you, and I'm going to put a bubble of protection around you. And the flavor that came in is spearmint. And one of the things that spearmint does, although than soothing and calming and things like that, is that it helps memory. This protection around you, and it's something that you should learn to do. Grounding and protection is something that we should do every day, several times a day. If you don't know how to do it, PM us. We'll send you some links. But what's really coming through is you have to remember who you are. You have to have that memory come in, that memory of when you were powerful, when you were playful, when you did have fun, when you were a kid and you dreamt of flying in the sky, when you talked to trees and all of that stuff. That memory is really what is going to teach you your value again, right? Because there's so many people, it feels like competing for your identity, that you have to really kind of put a bubble of love around yourself. And that bubble of love is your memories, whether good or bad, whatever and go back into those moments and find your power again. Okay.
The one more thing I want to say is that I don't know if you ever have the experience where when you speak, you suddenly are like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Was that the right? You know what I mean? Kind of like feeling a lack of confidence in your words. This is also about feeling confident that your words matter, that your story matters because it's just yours. There's nobody else's that's yours. You don't have to take up tons of space with it. Maybe sometimes you do. That's not the point. The point is that everybody's story is so unique. And the way that you tell your story out into the world, the way that this magical combination comes through, it matters. It really does, no matter who is or isn't listening. So you don't need to worry so much about exactly what you're saying, whether it's perfect or whether the people who are listening really care, or, you know, just, it doesn't matter. That's not going to matter. When you look back later, you're not going to care about that stuff. So just, you know, just to kind of like relax that and take pride in your story and trust that you matter. Build that within yourself.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay.
Cool. We're going to let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
That's all I know of that song.
I didn't even finish the movie, but I was super confused about who the main character was, since everybody apparently loves the blonde character, but I realized she was not really a very central character to the movie. Super confused. Elsa. The whole story was really, the protagonist was the brown-haired girl, her sister.
Oh.
The blonde one was just like some magical, yes, she was very central, but she wasn't the protagonist.
You're just used to like blonde, white hair.
She was just, no, because she was in all the advertising, in all
I know, because
the
they had to advertise.
Yeah, that was
white people.
Ridiculous.
Okay.
Ridiculous people.
Nicole Gale, here's your card about guilt. The lion and the deer.
So, here's your card about guilt.
There you go.
She's funny how it sounded.
I know.
Okay.
Morena relations. Yes, Rebecca. Thank you so much. The lion and the deer. And the wardrobe. Right now, that's what we need. Lion, the mouse.
The lion, the deer, and
the witch and the wardrobe.
The lion, the witch, and the
There we go. That's a big wardrobe, huh? We need one of those.
I know.
Awesome.
We'll be like, well, this house was small, but it has a walk-in closet. And the walk-in closet, I mean, have you seen the size of it? No, you need to see it. I've seen a walk-in. No.
Another world. Okay.
It's like the TARDIS,
but it's winter.
in there, okay? But it's winter.
Nicole. Okay, Nicole.
Unless you can figure out how to get rid of that witch, man. Woo, girl.
So let's talk about guilt, and let's talk about things that you hide in closets.
Let's talk about guilt.
Baby, let's talk
about Christian metaphors.
Exactly, right? Okay, so Nicole, one of the things that's coming through this card is I love the lion and the deer, right? The hunted and the hunter. One of the things that I've been taught is that you have to hunt yourself. You have to stalk yourself. What does that mean? You're like, what? I take selfies? No, that's not what that means. Don't take selfies.
No, take stalker photos of yourself.
It's about click. No. So no, in all seriousness, it's about getting to those parts of yourself that you've hidden away. You have to keep finding yourself over and over till you've let go of all your disguises. Guilt so many times comes from not playing into someone's definition of a role. Now, I started this show talking about biases, and I did talk about how there's no normal. It's been informed by your family, informed by your politics, informed by your country, informed by your, whatever religion or beliefs that you have. It's not normal. My normal is not your normal. Trust me, it's not. So you have to open your mind, and more importantly, open your heart so that there's more possibilities. People feel stuck all the time because they've created a character for themselves that doesn't allow them to grow. And then they feel guilty when they try to grow and have survivor guilt sometimes. I survived this, or they don't want to leave people behind. That was mine. I was going to take people up to the mountain with me, all right? Sometimes they're not ready to go and they have to find their own way. Maybe they want to stop at a 7-Eleven and grab something. I don't know. I'm usually the one that's like, just go to the top, right? So people have they have their journey, and you have yours. And yours is the only one that you're responsible for. I know you're a mother. I know you have children. I know you care about them. But your journey with yourself, that's your responsibility. Because the rest will follow. And the most important thing that you can teach your children is self-love and self-value. If you can teach them that, you're ahead of the game. Anything else?
One thing there's a couple things I wanted to just add or touch on. And one is, many people have many different definitions for guilt, but something that I have found very helpful for me when I'm thinking about guilt and feelings that are similar is to have a distinction between feelings of guilt and feelings of shame. Guilt and shame, some people use interchangeably, but I have found it helpful. This is a definition I learned a while ago, but I know also Brene Brown talks about this definition of guilt versus shame a lot. It's this difference between guilt, feeling like, I did something bad, or I did something that I'm not proud of, or I did something that I feel bad about, versus shame being like, I did something and therefore I am bad. I am bad, right? It's more about this identity of being unworthy, unvaluable, bad, right? Guilt is more focused on like, ooh, I did this behavior that I'm not proud of and I'm having a lot of guilty feelings about, but you still feel value as a person inherently underneath that, right? It's a big difference. And I think that for you, I don't know if that difference has been something you have explored at all about these feelings, but I would highly recommend you clarify what is going on for yourself underneath them. This guilt, which one it is. Is it guilt or is it shame, right? The way to work with those two feelings is very, very different, right? Where it stems from, what caused it. There's times when you feel guilt and then you're like, I just have to fucking own it and apologize. I really do. Or it's like, I feel shame because I was taught that I'm responsible for everything else around me my whole life. And so when things aren't going well for somebody else, I feel like I'm a failure as a human, right? I'm a bad person. There's something wrong with me. Those are very, very different. Another thing that I want to talk to you about that this card had as a message for you is really similar to what you were describing, where there's a piece of yourself that is coming out that maybe you are rediscovering or newly discovering, and it's going to create some discord and discomfort in you. Another thing that you can do when these feelings come up, guilt, shame, whatever they are, is instead of analyzing them immediately, just really welcome them, sit with them, feel the feeling, just kind of become an observer of your own feelings. This is like a meditative practice. It's a practice of having presence, right? Instead of running to, I got to figure out what's going on, or being like, think about, okay, I'm feeling guilt. Where do I feel it in my body? What's happening right now? And just slowing way, way, way down, because feelings, sometimes it doesn't mean that we have to do something about them just because they're there. Feelings come and feelings go, and they exist and then they pass, and I think that if we can have a little bit more peace with that process, that is also going to help you a lot, that peace. Because feelings are going to come up when you go through transitions in your life, and it's okay. It's not a bad thing. They're just feelings. Presence is going to help you a lot. So let's leave it there. That's basically it, right?
Yeah. That's it.
Okay. Nicole, thank you.
Thanks. From Marita.
Oh, so that's not it.
No.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We went long on that. So.
Well, whatever. I thought because I thought that was our last person, because we were past, we were after 3:40 in the, it's fine. It's fine.
Last card, Mary Kelly.
Mary Kelly.
She hasn't been on here in a long time.
Because you are very special to us.
Yeah.
That I'm saying yes right now.
Single card about finances, and we'll do it quickly, and then we'll wrap it up. Yeah.
Okay.
She's over here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, finances. Okay. Cruella de Vil.
I love that song. Do you know how they call it? So what's it called in English? 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah.
In Spanish, it was called La Noche de las Narices Frías.
Night of the Cold Noses.
Night of the Cold
Noses. So cute. It's so cute.
So sometimes things get lost in translation. And imagine how you speak to yourself, right? How you think and how you feel. Sometimes that gets
Nicole
lost.
Gail, you're sick of your damn self.
Get out of your head, baby.
Hey, Sunny, we saw you earlier, but we already had a long list of people ahead of you. So
yeah, you're about 3 down after Mary Kelly.
We are not going to get to you today.
Sorry, Sunny.
But
the list filled up pretty quickly today, which
next
is
time.
exciting. But Sunny, we do have a card including for the whole group, and usually that.
As you know.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. Almost.
Who's this from? Oh yeah, Mary Kelly.
Yes, we have a very long list, and we, as I said earlier, we don't get through most of the list.
So Sunny, just so everybody hears, we do tell people when they're on our list, depending on whether or not the people that are in front of you show up for when they are called, we may or may not get to you. We add a few extra names. Sometimes people are gone, they leave, whatever. And then, so we tell you, if you want to stick around. We will try to get to as many people as possible, but it's not a guarantee. Unfortunately, this is just the way that it rolls out, We have chosen very intentionally to not try to make sure we do every single person on the list, because we would then extend our show out and out and out and out. And we have a boundary around that because our weekends are very precious to us. Many of you don't know, but Marita travels quite a bit, so she's often gone 5 days out of the week. And these weekends are precious moments. We enjoy doing this show, but we also equally like to make sure that we have a boundary so that we have time with each other, which I would encourage all of you to respect your own boundaries. Mm-hmm. If you're not sure, if you want to spend the time waiting, if you're not sure whether we'll get to you, please listen to yourself, right? This is just a live Facebook show. We're going to do everything we can to honor our agreements, but sometimes we might not get to you. That's just the way it rolls out. Okay.
And also, we do have individual practices, so if you want more, you can always hire us.
Absolutely.
Okay, Mary Kelly.
Divine discontent.
Divine discontent.
Yay, though I walk. Okay.
I feel like we've seen this card before, but
I think it's so cool.
Yeah, look at that card.
It looks like a crystal cavern.
Thanks, Sunny. Thank you for understanding.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. And Nicole, you're going to be okay. Check your minerals. Make sure you're taking your salts.
If you get sick of yourself, journal and burn it. Just purge. Find some ways to purge that don't make you feel guilty or self-conscious. I think it's very helpful.
So a lot of this is about awakening from a deep sleep and realizing a new truth. So Mary, I know that you've been going through a lot and kind of, rebirthing, I guess, in a way. And this is really to talk about that rebirth, to remind you that everything is sacred. Every moment on your path is sacred. And that is definitely what we can learn. Doing the cacao ceremony earlier, I was reminded that of a lot of my teachings, which is not only is everything sacred, but everything is ceremony. Everything that we do is ceremony. If we approached everything as ceremony, as something in order to bless others or to be blessed, wouldn't our lives be different? Wouldn't our conversations be different? Wouldn't the way how we treat homeless people be different and people in need if we knew that having a conversation or having a moment with them was ceremony? It would really change how we approach life. I know you're a hairdresser. What if you approached every time you cut someone's hair? And I know you really kind of tune into them, and that's what's amazing about you. But really a ceremony, and a ceremony also of yourself. So ceremony is twofold, right? Giving and the letting go and the receiving. So are you making sure that you're receiving? Are you making sure that you're taking that time of cycle? Ceremonies have cycles, and there's different cycles in our ceremonies. And right now, in this hemisphere, we're in the time of the East, the time of planting new things. And so you've been working on a lot of new things. What are you planting? And so when it comes to finances, we have this attachment to what finances mean. And one of them is safety and security, right? I totally understand. We've been talking about this a lot. But there's also, when we get stuck in an idea that it has to come from a certain funnel, we don't open ourselves up to new opportunities of different funnels of receiving finances and money. And I know from my life that when I've opened myself up to that and not been like, it has to be this, where it has to be this, that all blessings just start happening all over my life. And so that's something that I'm still challenged to with this day, because money for me, a lot of it is safety and security, because we do live in a world, as you said, a capitalistic world that believes that energy is money. And that's how we exchange things. And so I think, you know, in the group clearing, some of that energy will be cleared, you know, our attachment to, again, the biases that we have. And that's how we receive and how we give and what we think normal is.
So a piece of this card, which if you'll remember, it says divine discontent, is that there is this sense, which to me has been very clear, something you are already working through quite a lot on Facebook. I've been, you know, following a little bit of what you're going through, or at least in terms of what you share there, that you have this internal sense that something is not right, right? Something is off. And that is a really divine gift, because if you don't have the awareness of that, or you don't even have, you know, it's not even like beginning, then you've got a ways to go, right? But you do. And so what I would invite you to explore in terms of your finances is how do your stories about finances mirror the stories and patterns that you have with love in your life?
Ooh, you went deep.
This was a really powerful realization
Yikes.
for me during a workshop I did with a friend of ours, Jennifer Victoria Bell.
Jennifer Victoria
Bell. Where I really recognized that the stories that I have about finances really mirror the stories I used to have about love. And the powerful thing for me was I had shifted a lot about my love life. I mean, really over the past 20 years of my life, but in terms of the biggest shift coming into this relationship was like a really pivotal shift in terms of where I was coming from, what I sought out, how I behaved, all of that, what I believed that I could have, you know, what was possible. And the realization for me was that I have in my love life previously, as in my financial life, I realized the stories were similar in that I used to believe on some level, maybe not like consciously at first, but definitely consciously, I realized I was having this pattern at a certain point, that I would always chase love and never receive it completely, you know? So you'd always seek out love from people who are never going to fully give it to you, never going to quite reach the finish line, right? And with finances, I had a very similar story. I'm always going to be like working, doing the next thing to get ahead, but I end up actually further behind, right? Then it's time for you to look at how your stories about your finances are similar to your stories about love and relationships, because that is an area that you are working on healing right now, right? And when you work on healing in one area, you can translate that shift into other areas more easily. So for you, I think that's the most important thing right now. You have the awareness, you have a sense that something is not right. Now shift that growth that you have in this one area over into your relationship with money.
Awesome.
Cool. All right.
Thank you.
Need a big bang at the end.
Big bang. Okay, I'm going to do a quick clearing for the group.
We're going to do one more little San Diego shake. Enjoy. It's so soothing.
It is.
I have crystal, snow globes at my office on my desk, and it just,
You do?
yes,
Oh.
yes, I have one. I was going to take this one in, and then I think I decided to keep it at home. But I do. I have one, and then I have a also this little just like yellow glitter frame. It's kind of just like a thing. I just like shaking it and looking at it. It just calms me down.
So the flavor that I got for everyone is sandía, melón de sandía. Like del otro día, song we like to sing in Spanish all the time. So sandía is watermelon. And so that flavor's coming through. There's this time of really kind of changing. We're coming up on the summer equinox, which is June 21st. If you're in Michigan or in any of the surrounding states, I'm holding a cacao ceremony. If you'd like to come and join us.
On your friend's farm, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful.
It is. Rose might even come too.
I probably will.
And she'll have Rosie Pops.
Oh my God. How are we going to make them out there? We're going to have to bring the things.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Anyways.
Does she have a deep freezer?
We'll figure it out. So watermelon, and I love watermelon. Again, seeds. This is a time for planting seeds. And watermelon also has that color, and I've said this before probably, of, you know, that pink, that red, and that green, which is for the heart. So what are the seeds that you're planting for your heart? Who do you want to be? This moon that we had in Scorpio was all about that, really reclaiming who you want to be, looking at all your beliefs and all your structures and being like, do I want this anymore? You know, do I want this anymore? Or can I rewrite this? And also not just for ourselves, but for others. And Matt, think of all the people and things and situations and jobs that you have defined. And you've almost kind of put them on ice, you know, where they can't evolve and they can't change. And I challenge you to de-ice them. Let them melt.
Defrost.
Defrost, thank you. Defrost.
Like a freezer.
Like a freezer, right? Because as we change, we can allow other people to change as well. And we can change the stories that we have between us. Okay?
So the card I got for the group, that was beautiful. I love watermelon popsicles, are like one of my absolute favorite for my whole life kind of popsicles. Whirling Goddess is the card that we got.
The dervish.
Whirling Goddess is all about losing your head. It's all about just, God, we put
in your head.
Exactly. Something like that.
No.
So we put so much stock in what we think and our ability to reason and, you know, what that means
Figure
about
out.
the world and, like, you know, but it's actually very limiting in many ways. If we can just let go of that and stop thinking for a minute. We have this thing that we haven't had too much time to do recently, but we used to do more, and we are going to do more again soon because I'm quitting my job. Hello. We would go on road trips without having any plan. We would just get in the car and we just be like, where do you want to go? Okay, we don't know. We're just going to start driving. And then maybe we would even just turn depending on, like, you know, which light turned, or like whether there's cars in the way one way, or, you know, it's really just this, like, we weren't trying to figure out what made sense. We were just flowing. Magical things can happen in your life if you can find that place to just let go. Let go. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to seem true. It doesn't have to be or seem like anything. Sometimes you just need to dance. You just need to accept the invitation, even if it's crazy and it makes no sense and it seems like magical. It really reminds me of, not so much in the actual series that they're doing now of American Gods, but in the books, the powers of Anansi, the spider, right? He was just a trickster, man. He was like Briar Rabbit, but he was very magical. So he could, you know, and his son, one of his sons, Spider, also would just, like, you know, there's this scene where he's at a party in Los Angeles in the book, not in the shows. And he's, like, you know, going around telling everybody that he's like a different person, right? And so everybody's like whispering, and it's Los Angeles. So of course everybody wants a producer. Everybody wants to meet like a Hollywood. So he's spreading all these rumors about who he is. And then eventually, when everybody's been drinking this drink that he made up, he convinces them all that suddenly they can walk on water. And so everybody's like dancing on the pool. And they're walking on water just because he somehow convinced them that they could do it. And they're all wondering, God, why haven't we done this before, right? At the end of the scene, he steps out. He's like on his way somewhere else. And suddenly everybody remembers that they can't walk on water and they can't dance. And they all just whoa. And they all just fall into the pool, right? But what if we allowed ourselves to just believe and go with that? Like, what would be possible if we didn't have such a strong, rational mind to hold us back? That is the message for the group today. Invite some magic into your life. Let your rational mind take a break. It's been working really hard for your whole life. So we're going to let it go right now.
The bell.
Bell down. Bell down.
Thank you for everyone who joined us today. Again, remember to join us on our Facebook group, Ice Cream Sundays with Nougats of Truth. Also our YouTube, where we do this again every Sundays, 2 shows. This is our first one. In a couple hours, we'll do another one on Kairua.
Specifically for an amazing Facebook group of human beings. We're so excited to be a part of.
Exactly. We're going to go visit them in November.
I know, so excited.
Also, if you're floating around Facebook, please like our pages and comment. Tell everyone how awesome we are. In the description
above this video. Up there.
Exactly. And also, we both have Instagram. So follow us, like us, spread the love.
My Instagram is not really active right now, but I'm actually going to start being super active on it again in about 2 weeks.
Mine is very active. So
yours is amazing. It is blowing up.
Yeah, it is blowing up. So be part of that change. Be part of that wave. And remember to live your life
to the sweetest. All right. Have a nice Sunday or Monday, wherever you are. Enjoy your day.
Hum.